Alright, what is up ladies and gents, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I want to go ahead and address how to use Robinhood the most effective way in 2020. Now guys, if you don't know, there are many different sorts of Robinhood platforms. Now, we have Robinhood on the computer, we have Robinhood on iOS, we have Robinhood, on Android phones and all of that. So there are a number of different Robinhood iterations that you can currently use, and they're each a little different. They're not too drastically different, but in this video, I want to go ahead and talk about all of them and how to use all of them, because if you want to use the Robinhood app in 2020, this is probably the best time in history to actually get into stock investing. Robinhood is extremely easy to use, it's very effective, and now there are several different platforms that you can actually use to invest. So anyway guys, with that being said, everyone watching this probably has access to either the app or PC version of the software. The PC version is not strictly a PC download, it's actually in browser, which is awesome. But anyway guys, with that being said, I'll be covering the PC version first, then I'll be moving on to the iPhone version of the app so we can really get a good look at everything that's going on, and then we'll be moving on to third, the Android version. So anyway guys, I'll be covering everything in this video from the top to bottom. So if you have any curiosities about the Robinhood app, or you aren't quite sure where to start out, this is a great video for all of you guys. So anyway, I want to go ahead and say, I've been using the Robinhood app since it was out. I started using it on iOS. That's actually why I bought an iPhone several years ago. I was using Android, but it wasn't available yet. And I have never had any issues with Robinhood. I've used it experimentally. I've made a ton of different videos on it, and I've pretty much used it every way imaginable. So I know a lot about the app. I have a lot of experience, and I want to go ahead and share that with you guys. First of all, if you have any, concerns about the safety of Robinhood or using it with your personal info, with your account info, any of that stuff, I want to go ahead and say I have never had an issue with that. I've never had money taken from my account without my, knowledge or consent. I've never had stocks or anything disappear from my account. It's all very well kept up to date. They make sure that you really know what's going on with your money, and for that reason, it's really a great platform to use. So honestly speaking, it's fantastic, okay? So anyway guys, with that being said, let's go ahead and take a look at the PC version here. This is just running in Chrome, running in my web browser, and let's see what exactly we have on offer. So first of all, this is your current account holding, okay? Your account value, or my account value, is currently $372.76. So you can see that's uploaded live, or updated live, pardon me, not uploaded live, updated live. And that's kind of a nice way to keep track of what exactly you're holding. Now this is sort of the break-even line for the day here. The current time is displayed. This is actually pre-market, and it says that right there. So you can see the stats pre-market, and then you can kind of watch your stocks move as you go throughout the day. Now, do you need to be too obsessed with this and watching this move? Not really. I know a lot of people tend to, download Robinhood and put money in, and then they check their stocks like every 5 minutes. That's sort of a new thing, and that's okay up front. You're going to move beyond that eventually, but just know that your stocks are going to be okay. You don't need to keep checking on them too much. But anyway, and then we have the weekly outlook. So we have daily, weekly, this is the performance for the past week, monthly, the performance for the past month, 3-month performance, okay, performance for the past 3 months, that pretty much goes without saying, 1-year performance, and then all-time performance, okay, is actually listed last. So anyway, sometimes the metrics can get a bit weird as you put money in and take money out of your account. These charts aren't always the most accurate. I do want to go ahead and say that. They're sometimes pretty reflective of the changing value of your account, but overall they do have some issues. So not exactly the most accurate way to track your investments. Honestly, if you want to track your investments as completely as possible, it's a good idea to write them down on pen and paper and kind of track them manually as you go along. But Robinhood does a pretty good job of keeping track of everything, okay? So over here on the right, we have a nice little panel. This actually displays all of the stocks that are currently in my account. We have a number of them because this is sort of my educational or experimental account that I use to make videos for you guys. So we have all of the stocks, we have Sirius, we have GE, okay, RSE, PLUG, all of the tickers here are displayed. Now stock tickers are of course representative of a stock symbol or a stock, a stock's full title. It's just a good way to index them. I would encourage all of you guys, if you're new to stocks, to familiarize yourself with at least a handful of tickers, at least the most popular ones, because sometimes news articles and things like that will only discuss ticker, and they won't necessarily say the full title, so it's good to know what exactly you're looking at as you kind of dive in. Now you can see we've got a little ellipses up here next to stocks. Okay, if we click on that, you can display either the last price of the stock, your current equity, today's return, or the total return overall. Now if we click on your equity, you can see that the equity is reflected there, the total value of the shares that you own. That's what equity is. If we look at today's return, you can see how much money you have gained or lost on a specific stock for the day, so that's a good way to gauge that there, and just kind of a nice way to look at things at first glance. You know, it's a good way to make a quick reference. Total return, okay, we can obviously see that right here, how much the stock has earned. Pardon me, for us total. Let me get a drink really quick. There we go. So that's the total earnings for the stock, you know, overall for the entire lifespan that you've owned the stock. And then I like to keep mine on last price because it's a good way to kind of look at things and get an idea of what's going on. But it really just, it's up to you. You know, you can basically do with that whatever you want. So if we scroll down here, we can see that this sort of panel here is continued with cryptocurrencies. Okay, those are all listed there. You can sort them the same way. And then we have the watch list. Now I want to say the watch list for cryptocurrencies and stocks is also separate, okay? So keep that in mind. So the watch list is just stocks, assets, ETFs, etc. that you're currently watching or that you've added to your watch list. It's very easy to edit these. Actually, you can on the phone do it pretty quickly by swiping. On the PC, it's a little bit more difficult to do, but it's still possible. So anyway, guys, with that being said, let's go ahead and go back to the main menu here and take a look. So that's the watch list. It's pretty easy to add and remove things, especially on the phone. On the PC, it's not quite as easy, but it's still pretty simple to do. So the watch list, I believe, can get as long as your heart desires, which is kind of extreme sometimes. I would really recommend that you guys only keep stuff on the watch list that you're truly interested in. Don't just add things willy-nilly. Make sure that the stocks that you add are stocks that you do want to actually follow, because if you turn on notifications for the app, you will also get notifications for stocks on your watch list, and if you don't care about the stocks on your watch list, it's just going to become a pain, okay? So make sure that you really care about what you're watching. So we've covered this over here. If we scroll down, you can see popular collections. Now, searching stocks on Robinhood actually used to be a lot more difficult. Now they've kind of curated them, which is actually pretty cool, okay? And you can pretty easily find just different things, okay? So we have 100 most popular. You can click on a different tag and it'll pull up things that you want to see. Upcoming earnings, new on Robinhood, technology, oil and gas, finance, software service, energy, manufacturing, consumer products, ETF, video games, social media, health, and entertainment. Now, I want to go ahead and say that the popular collections aren't always the best to look into. I generally, I kind of, look at them, I kind of consider the popular collections, but I'm not a big user of these aggregated collections because I would say that I tend to have more investment experience than the average user on this platform just because I've been investing for a long time. That's just me personally, and that's not meant to offend anybody that uses the platform. But, basically do whatever you want, okay? Do your own research and find what works best for you. Don't always just invest based on the popular collections. It's a good place to start, but it's not always the best, okay? So you can click on Show More and actually see a bit more here, okay? So these are some of the most popular. Then we have upcoming earnings. Okay, we have new, we have technology. So all sorts of interesting things. All the categories here are broken down, and that is cool, okay? You can see semiconductors, you can see the rating of them actually at a first glance, you can see buy, hold, buy, you can see how many people own the stock. So really, this is a good way to kind of look through, but, you can actually click on see all also. It's not a bad thing to actually go ahead and find your own stocks and everything too, okay? And you can actually do this by searching under this sort of section, okay? So this is materials. You can filter by price, okay? So this might be a little complex, but once you get to this page, you can just screw around with it to your heart's content. It's not something that you need to master right away, but this is a nice little searching screen where you can find stocks that you think really work for you. So you can sort by the rating, you can sort by a 50% or higher buy rating, 49% or lower, you can do that. Also, you can sort by price. above $100, under $15. Price change, you can look at things that are falling, as opposed to rising. If you want to buy into something for cheap, you can sort by, market cap, descending or ascending, or price. So really, there are a lot of different things that you can do to find stocks on Robinhood that really before the last couple of years weren't really available. So this is how you kind of start out finding stocks. You simply click see all or see all under a certain category. For example, if you want to see all food stocks, you can click on that and it'll take you to all food stocks. Okay, and I guess Uber is classified under a food stock, which is weird. Okay, and then you can sort in this category. Okay, so it's really simple. It's a good way to find things. You can do custom searches. You can find under 15 bucks. And then sort by price if you want to get something really cheap. For example, that's, this is 5 cents. So really, great way to find what exactly you're looking for, and just a good way to go about that. Now, I know this seems a little overwhelming at first, but you'll get used to it. If you just search for things or just pull up the stock search page, you can really start to navigate it pretty quickly, and you'll get to kind of gain an understanding of what exactly is going on pretty fast. So if we click on tech, we can sort through 500 different stocks. You can see they're all listed here. Sort by market cap. Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet. We've got $1 trillion market caps now, which is awesome. But pretty simple stuff. Okay, sort by buy rating. For example, you can go, okay, Glue Mobile is 100% buy. Catalyst Pharmaceuticals is 100% buy. Viking Therapeutics. So really very simple. Okay. Very good way to organize things and a great way to get acquainted. So let's go ahead and navigate back to the main screen there. Okay, it's probably going to take a second because it's not exactly the fastest. Okay, but there we go. Okay, so that's how you can kind of sort. There we go. Okay, reloaded for some reason. That's how you can go ahead and sort through everything that you might be interested in. Okay, so very easy to kind of see everything. You can hit show more at any time, see basically everything you want to see, and then you can just navigate all around. Very simple. Next, we have news. This is all just stock related news, so you can actually see different things relating to the stocks that you're holding. I believe that right now my stocks are kind of, or my news is geared toward the stocks that I'm holding right here, which is something that's worth noting. So you're going to see more stuff that's directed toward you, okay? Stuff on your watch list, stuff on your, stuff that you currently hold. The news and stuff is going to be tailored more toward your personal tastes. You can show fewer articles, for example, and just see a few things, which is also a good way to do this, okay? Because you can actually have the news basically extending infinitely down your main page, which isn't really a great idea, okay? Then below that, we have top movers. You can see the stocks that are making the biggest moves. You can actually go ahead and click more and look at all of them. Then we have more news here, okay? So the news will just go on and on and on, and it can get a little long-winded, to say the least, okay? But anyway, with that being said, guys, pretty basic main page here, really easy to navigate. You can very simply sort through things and find whatever you want. I also want to say that up here is a search function. You can search for basically anything by ticker or by the name of the company. So say, for example, you want to search for Tesla, you can search for that. Or if you know TSLA is the ticker, you can search for Tesla that way. And then we can go ahead and click on an individual stock and take a look at the main page for stocks. Okay, so here we have the main page for a stock. This is Tesla. Okay, after we've entered it in and we've clicked on it, we can see it's listed under manufacturing, under the 100 most popular stocks on Robinhood, and under automotive. Okay, not a big surprise there at all. Then we have the current price that it's, the price that's currently reflected. I'll go ahead and say that for the day and how exactly it's moving. Then we have the weekly. Then we have the monthly, then we have the 3-month, then we have the 1 year, and then we have the 5-year outlook. Now we have the buy rating up here. 36% of analysts rate Tesla a buy. 132,000 people on Robinhood own Tesla, so that's another cool metric. Remember, you don't necessarily have to buy what other people are buying. It's fine to deviate, so I want to go ahead and say that. And then we can actually expand this chart here to get a more thorough look. This is kind of Robinhood's intense trading chart. It has a bit more info on it, and you can actually tailor this to your needs as well. For example, you can add, here's just a basic candlestick outlook. Let's go to the 1-day outlook. So you can see the candlesticks here. You can set this to line or to candlestick, whichever you want. Okay. Then you can look at volume, which is displayed down here, or you cannot look at volume. I like to keep volume on, of course, and I like candlesticks. I usually use Trading View for trading, and it works you know, pretty well for what I do. But you can definitely do the same thing more or less on Robinhood. It's just not as detailed. So you can click add data. You can click add a moving average. You can click to add, you know, relative strength index. Click to add a MACD, which is good for day trading and swing trading. So really, it's definitely a bit more in-depth than it used to be, and I definitely appreciate that, okay? The PC outlook here is really useful. You can basically add everything that you want. Of course, you don't want it to get too complicated, you know, so you want to keep it relatively simple. But this is pretty much the charts maxed out. You can look at the 3-year outlook, see different patterns forming, 1-year outlook, etc. And it's a good, effective way to do this, okay? So looking at these charts, it's actually a really nice way to get all the data, and that's a big advantage of using the PC version of Robinhood, okay? You get a lot of stuff that can be really good to see, okay? So up here you can see we have a buying tab. It says buy Tesla. You can actually change the order types here: market order, limit order, stop loss order, stop limit order, trailing stop order. I'm not going to explain those quite yet, but those are something that you should be aware of. Actually, I'll go ahead and talk about them briefly. Market order is an order that goes through right away. Limit order is an order that goes through at a certain price. Stop loss stops the stock from moving too much, basically sets a cutoff where the order is converted to a limit. Stop limit order is similar but slightly different. Trailing stop order is just a bit more complicated as well. So really the only ones you need to worry about right now are market order and limit order. Market order puts it in right now. So if you say, for example, want to buy 5 shares of Tesla right now, a market order would buy those instantly or as soon as they're available. A limit order, you can set the price. Say, for example, you want to buy 5 shares of Tesla at $530. That's what a limit order does. And then you can allow it to execute at a certain time, good until canceled, good for the day, allow it to execute during extended hours. And that really can help you go farther, okay? So then, of course, you can sell once you're currently holding, and that is how that works, okay? So let's go ahead and move down a little bit here, okay, both on the column here and on the general page. So they have an about section. Tesla Inc. engages in the design, development, manufacture, and sale of fully electric vehicles, energy generation, and storage systems. It also provides vehicle service centers, etc., etc. So really, this just gives you a good blurb about the company. Okay, the CEO is listed. You can get more info about them as well. A number of employees, headquarters, okay, founded, market cap, that's the total, value overall, price earnings ratio, dividend yield, and the average volume is the average number of shares traded per day, okay? Collections, manufacturing, 100 most popular, automotive, transportation, road transportation, and energy, and then different news. Okay, and then you can actually scroll down even farther, get analyst ratings, okay, see what exactly analysts are saying. 36% say buy, 30% say hold, 33% say sell, and then you have a bull rating from Morningstar. So a bull is someone who's very positive on a stock. Then you have a bear rating. A bear is someone who's very negative on a stock. So you can read through those as well. Under that, we have earnings, okay, which is reflective of the earnings calls that are reported by the company. You can see what they're supposed to earn per share and then what they actually do earn. And these actually are run live on Robinhood, which is really cool. You can tune into them. And then you can see buys and sells. Like I said, this is my experimental account. So we have a history here. Okay. That was actually quite a long time ago. 2016, man. Anyway, I wish I would have held on to it longer. But like I said, this is my experimental account. Okay. So people also bought, okay, Apple, Facebook, Netflix, Nvidia, some pretty common cousins of Tesla there, if you will. So that is the general page there for a stock. Lots of info, but good info, okay? It can seem a little overwhelming at first, but just take your time, scroll through it, really familiarize yourself with what you're looking at, and, you can really start to understand what exactly is going on. So that's a good way to get acquainted, okay? So anyway, guys, with that being said, let me go ahead and also say that you can buy, you can do all this stuff, okay? And under the buying panel here, okay, there are other things to look at. You can buy options, for example. You can add it to your watch list, which will actually add it to the watch list on the main page. So you can buy and sell options, which if you click on that, you can buy calls and puts. If you're new to trading, I would actually not recommend doing this because it's a bit more complicated. I'll probably make a video on this a bit later, but say, for example, you want to buy, say, for example, you want to buy this here, okay? You want to buy a call, and you want to buy this one. All right, so you can actually go ahead and look at that and kind of set this up however you want. Okay, you can see ones that are expiring sooner or later. It's fairly complicated, and we're not going to dive into it yet, but you can also buy puts, you can sell puts. It's fairly complex, so not really for beginners, but anyway, still something that's cool to have available. So there we go. There's what a stock looks like at a glance on Robinhood. That's all you need to know from this page. I know, like I said, it seems a bit intimidating, but really, when you get used to it, it's not that bad, okay? It's pretty easy to navigate. So let's go ahead and switch gears and go back to the main page here. And that's pretty much that. Of course, you have other things that you can look at for your account up here. I'm going to skip the free stock look there because we don't really need to see that. You can see your portfolio and get lots of stats on that once it finally loads. Okay. Oh, this is the portfolio. What am I saying? Anyway, you can look at cash. You can look at your account. Robinhood is actually offering a debit card, so you can go ahead and sign up for that if you want. That's under the cash tab. And then you can look at messages. You can go to your account. Then the portfolio value is displayed. Buying power is displayed. You can actually use Robinhood Gold, which is basically just a sort of pro version of Robinhood, because Robinhood is free to use completely, but with Gold, you do have some advantages. You have margin, you have more data from Morningstar, you have up to $5,000 in instant deposits if you want to put your money in quickly, and you have more serious market data, which is good. Is Gold necessary? No, it's not, okay? There used to be major tiers with Gold too. You could spend up to, I think, $100 a month or more. Might still be the case. But anyway, you can go ahead and look at your account, for example. This will tell you what exactly you have in your account and how it's allocated. Cash, $292. Okay, stock, $80. All the stocks are listed here. You can sort them by your total return, by number of shares owned, by the price. So anyway, very interesting outlook here, and you can kind of get some stats on your account. Okay, so anyway, guys, let's go ahead and see if there's anything else I want to go ahead and cover. Banking, that's a lot of personal info. That's just your banking history. Documents are tax-related documents, so you will need to actually make sure that you familiarize yourself with these and get them to your accountant or enter them into TurboTax, whichever is best. And this is a good way to kind of, get in touch with what exactly you've been doing a bit more in depth. I'm not going to look at these at too great length either. But anyway, guys, that is an explanation of how to kind of use and navigate Robinhood on the PC. We're going to go ahead and switch gears over to the iPhone version of the app now, so I can also get you guys up to speed on that. It's really not very different, but I do want to make sure that you guys really understand what you're looking at, because PC to iPhone to Android, there are some discrepancies, there are some differences that I do want to cover. So anyway, let's go ahead and check that out. Alright guys, so here we have the Robinhood app pulled up on my iPhone, and it's looking very long because the iPhone screen is so weird. But anyway, guys, let's go ahead and just take a quick look at how exactly to navigate the iPhone layout. It's actually fairly similar to that of the PC, but it is slightly different. So anyway, you guys can see up top, we have the sort of chart here that we had before. We can see it has the amount invested, okay, and then the overall plot there. Pretty simple stuff. Then we have the weekly outlook, okay, monthly outlook, 3-month outlook, 1-year outlook, and the all-time outlook, okay. Pretty much the exact same as the PC. You can, of course, scrub through like you could before, and that is all well and good. So if we actually click on buying power, because that's something that we can do. It says that the total buying power is $292. Okay, you can get more buying power with margin, it says down at the bottom, and then you can deposit funds, which just redirects you to the bank. So withdrawable cash, buying power, both of those are listed there, nice and simple. Scrolling down more, we have notifications that appear here, but they are not loading right now for some reason. Scrolling down even more, and you can see it's kind of awkward to do this with the phone broadcasting to the PC, but bear with me. Anyway, stocks, all of those are listed just like before. You can actually go ahead and click on them one by one, okay, and then actually check them out. So this is what a stock layout looks like here. It's really pretty simple stuff. You basically go through it the same way as before. It tells you your position, your portfolio diversity, a couple of key stats, news, analyst rating, okay, earnings, all of that is listed. People also bought, featured in, and then your history there, okay. Really pretty simple stuff. That was a long time ago, man, oh man. Lots of experimentation there, but anyway, and then it says about SiriusXM, number of employees, total volume. So a lot of the same stuff there, okay, and then you can actually hit trade, and trade that stock. We're not going to worry about that too much right now. Let's go ahead and go back. There we go. A little bit of a weird transition. But anyway, you can scroll down and look at all of the stocks and just basically see everything that's in your account. Then we have cryptocurrencies. Of course, if you click on these, they look slightly different, and for some reason the connection is like really lagging right now, so I apologize for that. If you scroll down, you can get some info, you can hit buy, you can sell them, or do basically whatever you see fit. So there we go. The page is kind of loaded now. We can go ahead and scroll down. You can see what I'm talking about. Once again, pretty laggy there, but anyway, still very interesting stuff. Let's go back now to the watch list. Okay, the watch list is the same. And you guys know that when I did the PC review, I actually added Tesla to the watch list, so that should be on there now. And it is, okay? So then we have disclosures, and that is the main page of the iPhone app. It's really pretty simple, okay? Like I said, it's not too much of a far cry from the PC app, and navigating it is pretty much the same. Okay, next you have cash management. That is the next tab over here. That's just sort of a promotion by them. You can scroll around and look at your fancy debit card there. It doesn't really do a whole lot, but it's just kind of fun to mess around with. Okay, and then you can actually search for stocks, which is cool. So we have the browse function over here. Okay, so it hasn't updated yet. I'm hoping it will in a second. I don't know why this is being so slow. Usually the mirroring of the phone to the computer isn't too bad. But there we go. Now it's finally loading. Okay, so the browse function is similar. You can search for companies. It's pretty much the same thing. Okay, you get some news, all that good stuff. Pretty basic stuff. Okay, we have Bay Systems. There we go. And then to the right of that, you have a little message bar. That's just messages from Robinhood. Notifications, essentially, telling you what you've bought and sold. After that, you have the account info, and that's just your personal info, so I'm not going to go ahead and click on that. But that's basically the iPhone layout, okay? It's pretty simple. It's very similar to the computer layout. Really, it's just a condensed format, and you can't get quite as much info. The charts aren't quite as nice or quite as accessible. But it's still, you know, a good approach. It's still something that's useful, and I appreciate that, okay? So anyway, guys, with that being said, let's go ahead now, and with that being covered, check out the Android view of things, and I'm going to pull up an Android emulator that we can go ahead and look at. So let's go ahead and check that out. Alright guys, so now we're taking a look at the Android version. This is actually using the Android emulator BlueStacks, so if you're interested in running Robinhood on an Android emulator for some reason, you can do that with BlueStacks. But anyway guys, with that being said, let's go ahead and check out the home page. It's really pretty similar to the iPhone layout. We have the 1 week outlook, 1 month, 3 month, 1 year, etc. So really pretty similar. The tags down here are listed. Okay, you can scroll through them. It's nice and easy. Under that, we have the stocks, and then we have cryptocurrencies, and then we have the watch list. The layout is just a little bit more Android-esque, okay? It's a little bit more square. It's kind of blocky. I like it personally. I think it looks really cool. I like the iPhone layout too, but, you know, really for all intents and purposes, the main page is the same, okay? It's essentially the same thing. It runs well, it's fine. The Android app is much more updated than it used to be. It used to be that the Android app was always basically on the back burner for the Robinhood team because they really started by preferencing iOS. The Android app now has more or less caught up, and they keep it pretty up to date, which is definitely good. So Android users, do not despair. Using Robinhood on an Android device is pretty much just as good as iOS, which is awesome. If we go to the right of this, we can see that this is the cash management page, pretty much the same as before, okay? And actually, let's go ahead and look at an individual stock, too. Okay, let's go ahead and click on one that I own. Let's go for GoPro, for example. Okay, let's go ahead and click on that. All right, so then we can get all the stats here. Once again, pretty similar to the iPhone. We have market level 2 market data available if we click on that, or you can look at the candlestick. Very similar to the iPhone once again. Equity, all of the stats are listed here. Statistics, Q4 earnings are listed. Earnings are listed there. Featured in the categories people also bought, and then a blurb about the company, okay? So more or less the same stuff, just laid out slightly differently. And the buy and sell function is pretty much identical for all intents and purposes, like I said. Then we have the browse function, works about the same way as the other ones. Then we have a video here, which is going on, okay? So, and then like I said, over here we just have the couple of things, and that's basically it. So anyway, guys, Android, iPhone, PC, you're gonna see the biggest differences between the mobile versions and the PC platform. They're all good in their own regards. The PC brings a lot of data to the table, which is awesome, but it's not completely necessary. Okay, so anyway, guys, with that being said, that is an outlook into Robinhood going into 2020. Basically everything you need to know if you're starting out with the app. You know, lots of good stuff there, lots of info. So yeah, anyway, guys, if you liked it, go ahead and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Let me know if you have any questions in the comment section. Let me know anything, you know, ask away. And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here. Thanks for watching. Hit that bell for videos and notifications, and adios.